Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Soul Land 3 Legend of the Dragon King Part 71 based on novel. So let's start. Now that Tang Wulin is a real freak. He got full marks in 6 trials. I can't make heads or tails of him. His martial soul is plain old blue silver grass, but that golden soul ring, it's definitely unrelated to his martial soul. He hasn't had any trouble so far either. Throughout the entire exam, he has steadily progressed, getting one full score after another. Though his talents aren't great, his strength is formidable. This isn't the fruit of just his potential, but his potential combined with his temperament. GUU is far ahead of the rest of Class 0 in talent and potential. But in overall strength and temperament, Tang Wulin shines the brightest and fully deserves the position of captain. Senior brother, your insight is so great. Thoughts weighing on her mind, Shenyi led the 4 students into a small room. This room was different from the rest so far. The lighting was dim and the surroundings lacked lavish decorations, with only a single large screen hanging from the metal walls. A sense of familiarity flooded the 4 students. This place seems similar to the Spirit Ascension platform. Is the 9th trial like that? Your goal for the 9th trial is to survive. I believe you've all been in the Spirit Ascension platform before. Well, this is similar to that. In a sense, all the soul beasts in it are real. If you kill one and are at a bottleneck, then you'll be able to gain a soul ring. Alright. Prepare to enter. Shenyi pressed a button and several metal capsules slid out of the walls. Survive? When GUU, Xie, and Xu Xiaoyan had heard this, they shifted their gazes in Tang Wulin's direction, eyes brimming with confidence. After receiving a paltry 3 points from the previous trial, Xie had felt anxious. The details of the 9th trial blew away all his insecurities. They had spent countless days in the Spirit Ascension platform over the years, so anything that resembled that would be a walk in the park. As long as they didn't jump headfirst at a high-level beast, of course. In that case, Tang Wulin's leadership and the team's coordination would pull through splendidly. Together, they were unbeatable. Teacher Shen, will we be taking this trial together? Tang Wulin asked. Shenyi eyed him. Yes. No matter the number of participants, they will all take the trial together. This trial tests your coordination in addition to your ability to survive. You all came together, so you have an advantage here. Good luck. Thank you, Teacher Shen. The 4 examinees split up and entered the metal capsules. This marked the start of the 9th trial. Unknown to the 4, 2 people entered the room after the capsules slid back into the walls. Among them was a cranky old lady they were all too familiar with, the Silver Moon Doluo. An old man was by her side. His nose was high and his deep blue eyes sunken. He stood tall with grey hair down to his shoulders, accenting his unyielding aura. Just his presence could stifle others. Teacher, Shenyi respectfully greeted the old man. The old man nodded. How have these kids done so far? After a long moment of contemplation, Shenyi found the right words. They are unbelievable. The Silver Moon Doluo laughed. That's right. They are really unbelievable. I didn't let them take the 5th trial, but there's actually someone who managed to score full points so far. That Tang Wulin is marvelous. His blood essence is strong, almost a bit like yours, Jusha. Let me be frank. I don't care about the other 3, but I've already set my eyes on that GUU. Shuasha shot her a look. What do you mean you've set your eyes on her? Don't forget that they are all my grand disciples. They don't have anything to do with you. What? The Silver Moon Doluo arched her brows. Are you trying to go back on your word? Shuasha smirked, the domineering air around him receding. I'm not going back on my word. I'm just stating a fact. I'm saying you eye them as much as you want, but that doesn't mean I'll just hand them over to you. They have to be willing too. You'll need to ask GUU if she wants to be your disciple first. If she rejects you, then there's no use in forcing it. That's nonsense. I like how stubborn she is. She stomped with fury. What would separate kids from walking corpses if they didn't have such strong wills? Her temperament is precisely what attracts me. Xinyi silently watched from the sidelines. She dared not speak out of turn in front of these two elders. Shuaisha said, "We can talk about this after they finish this trial. If they can't pass it, then it doesn't even matter how high they scored on the other ones." Unexpectedly, the silver moon Dolor reigned in her vexation and nodded. It seemed she held the 9th trial in high regard as well. "Teacher, what test level are they taking?" Xinyi softly asked. Shuaisha contemplated for a moment. "The highest level." Dumbstruck, Xinyi tried to steady her thoughts. "The highest level? Even adults find that level hard." "That's..." "Hurry up now," Shuaisha urged when he noticed her hesitation. "Yes." "Sun with rays." Space warped around him, a minor matter to Tang Wulin, who had experienced the Spirit Ascension platform countless times. With his sturdy body and sharp mind, this sudden sensation didn't affect him at all. In a flash of light, the 4 examinees found themselves in an empty space. A world came into view in a blink of an eye. Class 0 appeared in this world together, and after exchanging glances, they immediately shifted into their usual battle formation. Blue-silver grass sprang out from beneath Tang Wulin's feet, slithering out to probe their surroundings. Their environment was similar to the Spirit Ascension platform. That said, the lush forest here seemed more ancient. So the 9th trial tests our ability to survive. Fantastic. Isn't this the easiest possible trial for us? Xie rejoiced. Tang Wulin raised his hand, silencing him. After a moment, he said in a hushed voice, "This place is different from what we're used to. At least from the elementary one, anyway. I've been in the intermediate level once before with Teacher Wu, and I can say for a fact that the plants here and there are similar. Don't forget that this is still part of the Shrek Academy entrance exam. Teacher Shen said that we have to survive, but she never mentioned for how long. We need to be careful. If my guess is right, and this place is like the intermediate Spirit Ascension platform, then we'll run into a lot of 1,000-year soul beasts. Maybe even some at the 10,000-year level." 10,000-year soul beast? His 3 teammates sucked in a deep breath at the thought. Xu Xiaoyan said quietly, "Captain, if I can break through to rank 30, then can't I get a soul ring here? If there's a 10,000-year soul beast." "Don't even think about it," said Tang Wulin, frowning. "With your current abilities, it's impossible to absorb a 10,000-year soul ring, let alone kill a 10,000-year soul beast. Don't forget, this would just be your 3rd ring. Normally, soul masters don't get a 10,000-year soul ring until rank 50. Your body isn't that strong to begin with, so don't think so wishfully. Otherwise, you might encounter a problem. Like the time I evolved my spirit soul to the 1,000-year level." Hearing the severity in his voice, Xu Xiaoyan stuck out her tongue. "Got it." Tang Wulin said, "Let's go. We should find a vantage point to survey the land first. Once we have a good line of sight, we'll rest and recover the energy spent on the previous trials." "All right." The 4 proceeded cautiously. Gu was in charge of scouting, sending off wind birds further into the surrounding thicket. On the other hand, Tang Wulin monitored their immediate vicinity. When the wind birds discovered nothing, as if this was just a normal forest, Tang Wulin didn't believe it for a second. This was part of the Shrek exam after all. A while later, they chanced upon a hill with a large field of view. Tang Wulin took out the steamed buns from his storage device and began handing them out to everyone. After eating, they took turns resting. All was tranquil without the slightest hint of trouble. 2 hours later, they were fully recovered. "Captain, something's strange. It's been 2 hours already yet we still haven't met any soul beasts," Xie said in a low, nervous voice. "Do you have any idea what's going on?" Tang Wulin harbored the same doubts as Xie. Naturally, they would earn more points the longer they survived this trial, yet 2 hours had passed without the slightest peep. How could this be called a trial of survival then? It was easy to forage for food in a forest and survive. Should we go exploring? Xie asked. Tang Wulin looked at the sky before answering, not yet, it's still early in the afternoon. We'll wait until nightfall. It'll be safer if Xu Xiaoyan can use her Star Wheel ice staff. Impatience was their number one enemy. Tang Wulin refused to give in to anxiety, calmly contemplating the best way to help his teammates maximize their points. Since we're safe here, we can wait until everyone's in their best condition before exploring. The sun gradually sunk beyond the horizon. In the twilight, Tang Wulin stood up and quietly climbed up a tree to gaze into the distance. The world he found himself in truly resembled the great Star Do forest. In the last glimmers of daylight, he could make out trees as far as the eye could see. Then a howl shattered the silence and flipped the forest upside down. Tang Wulin broke out into goosebumps as terror racked his body, but his blood essence chose that moment to flare up. It quickly dispelled his fear, his heart finally calming and returning to its earlier state. What was that? Then realization hit him and he climbed down the tree madly. If just a single howl could upend the forest, just how terrifyingly powerful was this beast? The three-eyed demon ape, of which he had absorbed its spirit energy, was the strongest soul beast he had encountered so far. He could never forget the battle between the 10,000-year three-eyed demon ape and Wu Zhongkong. Yet, this howl had shaken him to his very core. The moment he landed on the ground, he saw his companions all had horror-stricken expressions. What was that sound? That scared me to death. Xie was pale, his face aghast. Everyone wore a similar expression, though Gu was more restrained. Tang Wulin grimly said, I don't know either, but it doesn't seem too far from here. Another roar thundered just as he spoke. Compared to before, this one was sharper and seemed to penetrate their bodies, instantly dispelling their fear. This is so strange. Let's go take a look. Gu said to Tang Wulin. Tang Wulin nodded. Let's go. There was no way a trial would be as simple as they first thought. Even if they didn't check it out, perhaps the two soul beasts would come looking for them instead. It was far better to take the initiative to attack. After all, regardless of who held the exam, there must be a way for examinees to pass the exam. Gu released her wind birds to scout far ahead of them and the four began to advance toward the origin of the roar. Tang Wulin took the lead, opening a path for his teammates while also doing his best to help mask their scent. Since they weren't strong enough, this was all they could manage. Gu's face twitched and she whispered, There's a valley up ahead on the left. It's over there. My wind birds were dispersed by a gust of wind, though. Everyone, be careful. Follow closely behind me. Tang Wulin urged his blood essence to greater heights. Golden scales rippled into existence from his arm to his shoulder while a golden soul ring appeared beneath him. Not only did his blood essence aura mask their smell, it also calmed everyone's nerves. At the very least, they no longer felt oppressed by the roars. Just as Gu had said, a lush valley lay before them as soon as they exited the forest. The closer they approached it, however, the more stifled they felt. The four circulated their soul power to resist the waves of power emanating from deep within the valley. They proceeded cautiously and solemnly. We're crawling from here onward. Tang Wulin dropped to the ground, and the pressure instantly lessened. The other three also copied him and together, they inched to the edge of the valley and peered over it. They sucked in a deep breath at the scene before them. Inside the valley, booms resounded as two lights over 30 meters in diameter clashed countless times. Every time they struck each other, the earth trembled while the air whipped into a frenzy. A purple light appeared in his eyes. When Tang Wulin looked back at the two lights again, shock rooted him to the ground. It was a pair of soul beasts. One shone with dark gold light, its immense figure intimately familiar to Tang Wulin. They had encountered this beast several times before, and every encounter had struck fear into their hearts. It was the ruler of the forest, the dusk gold Dreadclaw bear. However, this bear was far mightier than the ones they met previously, a colossus towering over 10 meters in height. Dark gold light spilled from its body and flowed down its thick, solid arms. Every slash of its claws had the power to tear open the heavens and destroy the earth. They sent boulders flying everywhere and left numerous deep gouges in the walls of the valley. That should be a 1,000-year dusk gold dreadclaw bear, right? Or maybe it's a 10,000-year one? 100-year dusk gold dreadclaw bear had forced a pride of blazing demon lions to beg for mercy. A 1,000-year one could rule as the absolute tyrant of the forest. So then, what about a 10,000-year one? A 10,000-year dusk gold dreadclaw bear could easily tear apart normal 100,000-year soul beasts. Its destructive power was simply incomprehensible. Yet this formidable beast was currently locked in battle with another beast no weaker than it. Tang Wulin strengthened his eyesight further and examined the other light. Inside the ball of blinding golden light was another soul beast. It had body translucent like crystal, its form similar to that of a lion but with flaming draconic claws and a longer snout. Fine golden scales peeked out from beneath its fur. Most peculiar of all, it had a vertical slit on its forehead wherein its third eye rested. Its two ordinary eyes were gold, but its third eye glared with a bewitching red glow. What soul beast is that? Tang Wulin had never heard of such a beast, let alone seen one. He turned to his friends and described what he just saw. Xie, do you have any idea what that golden soul beast is? Tang Wulin knew Xie was the most knowledgeable of them all. Xie furrowed his brows. From what you've said, I think I might know. Give me a moment to think. These two soul beasts are too powerful, Gu said. They could instantly eliminate all of us with a single swipe. I don't think being here will help us pass this trial, but why else would they have us discover these soul beasts? Tang Wulin shook his head. Let's quietly observe the two first. They seem to be evenly matched. If we wait until they are both exhausted, maybe we can reap some rewards. If they defeat each other and only have a single breath of life left, then even we should be able to deal with them. He knew his own strength, as well as the strength of his team, better than anyone else. He also knew it would be foolish to these mighty lords of the forest head-on. The single difference between this place and the Spirit Ascension platform was the lack of an escape button. In other words, dying was the only way to get out early. Having encountered these two beasts, death had become a very real possibility for them, one in which not even a single scrap of their corpses would remain. They needed to exercise extreme caution if they wanted to avoid such an agonizing end. The four of them gathered at the edge of the valley and peered at the soul beasts once more. The clashes between the two lights grew increasingly fierce. They couldn't tell which one held the advantage. Suddenly, the two lights shined intensely bright, explosively colliding one more time. After separating, the lights grew dim and revealed the soul beasts within them. The dusk gold dreadclaw bear was in terrible condition, and its opponent showed no sign of weakness, almost as if it were a spirited horse. Its third eye shone a brilliant red. Fear crept into the bear's eyes as the dark gold light that surrounded it dimmed even further. I've got it. Xie blurted. So what is it? Tang Wulin asked. I think that golden soul beast is the auspicious beast of legends. Xie answered. Auspicious beast? Tang Wulin, Gu, and Xu Xiaoyan looked at him doubtfully. Xie nodded. Legend has it that, in the great Star Doe forest, there once lived an auspicious beast known as the Auspicious Emperor. It has been said that, as long as it resided in the forest, fortune would smile upon all the beasts that inhabited the forest and their cultivation would progress much faster than normal. However, when it died, misfortune plagued the great Star Doe forest and drove the soul beasts to attack Shrek City in a beast tide. You guys should remember this from the Spirit Aisdolor's legend. The Auspicious Emperor is a three-eyed golden lion. The legends say that the Spirit Aisdolor absorbed its soul ring and soul bone. It provided a skull, the strongest spiritual type bone that has always ranked number 1. It's no wonder that not even the dusk gold dreadclaw bear is able to beat it. This is the Auspicious Emperor after all. It's on a whole different level. A three-eyed golden lion, called the Auspicious Emperor? Even its name sounds powerful. It looks so cool. Xu Xiaoyan exclaimed, her eyes practically twinkling with stars. It would be great if it could become my spirit soul. Keep dreaming, Xie scoffed. That's a three-eyed golden lion, a beast that is supposedly even smarter than humans. Oh, right? I just remembered something. In the Spirit Aistoluo's biography, the story says that the three-eyed golden lion transformed into a human and fell in love with the Spirit Aistoluo. It later sacrificed itself to become his soul ring and save him from a deadly crisis. Yet its selfless act then led to the decline of the Great Star Doe Forest and the wave of beasts attacking Shrek City. Why haven't I ever seen anything like that in the biography I read? Tang Wulin asked. Xie smirked. My family collects biographies. We have biographies that normal people would never have access to. So soul beasts are approaching extinction because that three-eyed golden lion sacrificed itself. Gu asked, a pensive expression on her face. But why would the auspicious emperor sacrifice itself for a single human? Didn't it even consider its fellow beasts? You wouldn't understand, Xie said. Logic doesn't matter when someone falls in love. A person would forsake everything for love. I bet that's the reason why the three-eyed golden lion sacrificed itself. Didn't it fall in love with the Spirit Aistoluo? Love? Gu couldn't understand why, but she suddenly glanced at Tang Wulin. The earth shook as a deep rumble resounded throughout the valley. Tang Wulin attached strands of blue-silver grass to his three teammates, keeping them safe as the four of them crawled away. The wind whistled, suddenly growing in intensity. Tang Wulin turned around to see the two beasts taking their battle elsewhere. The end of the valley was nowhere in sight. The sounds of battle continued to grow quieter and quieter as the two clashing beasts disappeared into the distance. Are they gone? The four of them let out a collective sigh of relief. They were mere ants before those two almighty beasts, and they were lucky to avoid being noticed. Aren't those two the reason why we didn't meet any soul beasts in the forest? Xu Xiaoyan asked. Tang Wulin nodded. This valley and the surrounding area are probably a part of the territory belonging to one of them. The other must have come to seize it or some other benefit. We don't know whose territory it is though. It would be great if this region belonged to the three-eyed golden lion. Since it's a sign of good luck, there would definitely be some treasures hidden here. Xie's eyes lit up. Didn't they say we could bring anything we find in here back to the real world? Tang Wulin looked at him. How about we go take a look then? Yeah. Let's go. Xie exclaimed, bursting with excitement. This is an illusory world anyway. Even if we die here, we won't really die in the real world. This is an amazing opportunity. If we don't go take a look, we'll regret it forever. Tang Wulin shifted his gaze to the two girls. Gu nodded. Xu Xiaoyan smiled. It's up to you, Captain. Then we're going. Fire seemed to blaze to life in Tang Wulin's eyes as he quietly stood up and ventured into the valley. Like a newborn calf that didn't fear a lion, they didn't fear death in this illusory world. Since failing didn't have any real consequences, they confidently ventured into what could be the lair of a legendary auspicious emperor. Using Tang Wulin's blue-silver grass, the four of them slowly rappelled down the side of the valley. Although it was steep, it didn't prove much of a challenge for them. Progressing slowly and steadily, they soon reached the bottom. Gazing at the thick mist in the distance, they could no longer see any trace of the two great soul beasts. It seemed like they wouldn't return anytime soon. They proceeded deeper into the valley, their guards up as they scanned in different directions. The scene of the two formidable beasts battling was still fresh in their minds. Their hearts thumped louder and louder with each step. The battle had truly been terrifying. As they moved, they saw countless deep scars that the wandering battle had left throughout the winding valley. The stone of the valley was no different than tofu in the face of the attack of the beasts. The vast expanse of the valley floor was devoid of vegetation. This was evidently the work of the heaven-shaking battle from before. Captain, look! Xu Xiaoyan pointed. Tang Wulin's gaze followed her finger and his eyes then lit up. Not far from them was a cave, the entrance of which was about 5 meters tall. Darkness shrouded this cave, and its destination was a mystery. Is that the lair of one of the two beasts? Tang Wulin muttered to himself. Let's go find out. Xie Xie immediately began running, forcing the other three to chase after him. After reaching the entrance to the cave, Xie Xie took a moment to scout the area before waiting for his teammates to catch up. Captain, I think this could actually be the lair of the three-eyed golden lion, he shouted, gulping nervously. Huh? What makes you think that? Tang Wulin asked. Since we've fought a dusk gold dreadclaw bear, you might remember its rancid odor, Xie Xie said. This cave, however, smells fresh, yet a bit musky. Legends have described the three-eyed golden lion smelling like this, so I think this is its lair. All right. Let's go see for ourselves, Tang Wulin immediately decided. This was not the time to hesitate, just in case those two beasts suddenly returned. The four of them dove into the cave, swiftly advancing into its depths. The cave was pitch black, as if it were a completely different world. The ceiling soon grew beyond 5 meters tall and opened up into a wide space. After they came around a bend, twinkling lights appeared. Gemstones littered the ground, shining with a myriad of brilliant prismatic lights. This video will end here.